Well, are you one of those parents getting ready to send your first child off to his or her first year of college? If so, you may be more nervous than your soon-to-be freshman. My son is headed to Madison, and I'm kind of starting to freak out.
I totally get that. It's a big transition. The experts say being prepared is the key. Wendy Powers is the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and the Dean of Students at Alverno. She's here with advice for all families making the transition to college. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I think we saw you about the same time last year.
Yes.
Because this is a big time of year where people, the summer kind of, the calendar is going to switch to August and people are going to really start thinking about that transition. So let's start talking about students first before we get to tips for parents. And one of the things that you say is those first 6 weeks are really critical.
Absolutely. At Alverno, we call it the Super 6, but campuses know that the first 6 weeks for a new student to get connected with the campus, to go to events, to make friends, to get familiar with what their classes are like, and just to find kind of their sense of belonging. That first 6 weeks is when that happens. So we often plan lots of events, weeks of welcome, Super 6 series at Alverno, and that's a way to really kind of front load the experience for students so that they can really kind of dig in and get comfortable.
Yeah.
So for the student, we ask them to really get involved, take the risk, step out of their comfort zone and try to get involved.
And experience something new, which we
Absolutely.
most likely will do. Well, there must be a lot of emotions involved for the student, you know, when they head off.
As you know, you're feeling those emotions right now, and so is your student, and so it is kind of a roller coaster of emotion, especially that first semester. But we try to encourage students to kind of be okay with that, sort of open yourself up to knowing that it's going to be a roller coaster. We provide lots of support services all over campus, in residence halls and in classrooms and elsewhere, so that we can kind of work with a student as they navigate that. But if we let folks know that's normal up front, sometimes that's helpful.
Okay.
And I think it's important. One thing I learned, especially as a freshman in college, that people are just different. I mean, you're used to, you know, your high school friends and living in your home, and people live differently. They spend money differently. They think differently. They have different religions and different backgrounds and, you know, all of those things. And I think embracing that helps.
Absolutely. We talked with students about the fact that almost nothing in college is going to be similar to your own experience. Classes are going to be different. Homework's going to be different. The people that you meet are going to be different. It's a whole new experience. And so if we can talk with students from the family perspective and from the college perspective about kind of opening yourself up, know that that means a little bit of risk taking, but it's really worth it in the long run to be open to what those new experiences might be.
You know, and maybe transitioning into the parents now. You know, these kids are going off, they're going to be on their own, living on their own for the first time. I mean, for a parent myself, you know, my son was just sick this week and he was calling me a lot saying, "When are you coming home?"
I know, he was
can't believe, I was at the rummage, I can't believe I'm home alone and I'm sick. And then I come home in the house, because my husband was gone too, the house was an absolute sty. Like, how is this kid going to go and be on his own?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting transition to independence, and students today tend to be a little bit more reliant on families and parents in particular than they used to be. And so summertime is a great time to start working with your student to help them kind of take some more of those independent steps, do their own laundry, make their own appointments, medical or haircuts or whatever, so that they start to kind of have to become a little more independent and take care of themselves.
Just the laundry, my gosh.
Yeah, making sure they know how to do laundry is helpful, but they find their way when they get to us no matter what, where they start.
As much as you want your student to be familiar with the campus and, you know, maybe find a mentor and be able to find their way around and know where a clinic is if they're sick or they get hurt or something, I think it's also key for parents to know about resources on campus, because if you've got a child who's maybe depressed or feeling very emotional or struggling with a school subject, that you know where to maybe refer them or someone you could contact even to kind of ask some questions.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the keys. As your student is developing a sense of independence and as we are trying to help your student develop that independence, if families are aware of the campus resources, if they know where the health center is, if they know that there are academic advisors, if they know that, for instance, at Alverno we have a campus nurse, then when that student calls with that up and down phone call about emotions and how things are going, the family member can refer the student to those resources and help that student take the steps his or herself instead of the parent calling and saying, hey, somebody go find my student. So it's all kind of connected, the emotions, the independence, and the campus resources, and families can be great support agents for the student if they're familiar with what the campus has to offer.
I think the one thing I took away from your notes, which I'm going to struggle with maybe a little, is when your kid comes to you with a problem, don't solve it for them at this point. They need to really work things out for themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't like that.
Nope.
Yeah.
You want to solve it for them,
Well,
right?
I think that goes with our director of counseling and health services at Alverno. I'm borrowing from her, but she shared with me that one of the things she tells parents is to kind of trust the roots and the wings. Trust the roots that you help craft with your student, that you taught the foundation for them, and then trust those wings you help them develop, and those wings kind of connect to that independence, and they're going to fly when they get to their college campus.
I can't think of a better way to end that this conversation. That's fantastic. Great to see you again.
Thank you so
really
much.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
You got that,
Here.
Denise?
It's all up here.
Great to see you. Thank you.